Hello, hello, English learners. Welcome back to Learn How to Learn English, the podcast where every episode gives you real English and a little push to live better. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex, your favorite podcast best friend, back again with more stories, more vocabulary, and more real talk. Emma, before we start, can I tell you something a bit embarrassing?
Always. You know I love your embarrassing stories, Alex. Go on.
Okay, so this morning I was brushing my teeth right in front of the mirror, and I caught myself looking at my own face and thinking, ugh, why does he look so tired? Why is his hair like that? Why can't he just get it together?
Wait, he? Alex, you were talking about yourself in the mirror like a stranger?
I know how it sounds, but listen, have you ever caught yourself talking to yourself like that? Not kindly, almost like an enemy?
Alex, more times than I would like to admit.
And that, my friends, is exactly why we picked today's topic. Because this morning, standing there with toothpaste on my chin, I asked myself a question. Would I ever speak to my best friend the way I just spoke to myself? And the answer was, never. Not in a million years.
That question changes everything, doesn't it? So, listeners, today's topic is one close to our hearts. Today, we are talking about loving yourself more than anyone else.
Love yourself more than anyone else.
Now, don't worry. This is not going to be one of those episodes where we tell you to stare into a mirror and shout, "I am amazing," 50 times. We promise this will be practical, honest, sometimes funny, and full of English you can actually use tomorrow.
And quick favor before we dive in. If this episode makes you feel something, please subscribe to Learn How to Learn English. Tap that like button and send this episode to someone who needs a bit of kindness today. Maybe that someone is you.
Maybe that someone is you. I love that. Okay, Alex, let's begin.
Let's start with something every single human being has. A voice inside your head. Not a scary voice, don't panic. I mean the voice that comments on everything you do. That voice has a name in English. We call it the inner critic. Say it with me. Inner critic.
Critic. C-R-I-T-I-C. A critic is someone who judges, someone who points out mistakes, and your inner critic lives right inside your own mind, judging you all day long. You made a small mistake at work? The inner critic says, "Typical, you always mess things up." You gained a little weight? The inner critic says, "Look at you, so lazy."
The strange thing is, most of us would never let a stranger talk to us that way. If a random person on the street said those exact words to you, you would probably walk away, maybe even feel angry. But when it's your own voice, inside your own head, somehow we accept it.
Why do you think that is, Alex?
Honestly, I think somewhere along the way, many of us learned that being hard on ourselves means we care. It means we're serious. It means we'll try harder. A strict teacher once told me, if you're too kind to yourself, you'll become lazy. And for years, I believed that.
And did being harsh with yourself actually make you better, Alex?
No, actually, the opposite. Every time I failed at something and then attacked myself about it, I felt worse, and I had less energy to try again. Harsh, H-A-R-S-H, means severe, unkind, rough. Harsh words don't build people up. They break them down slowly.
There is a lovely little trick, one small question you can ask your inner critic whenever it starts talking. Ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? And if the answer is no, then don't say it to yourself either.
Would I say this to someone I love? Write that down, listeners. That single question can soften the harshest voice in your head.
This actually connects to something I like to call the friend test. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, my friend Sana called me, crying. She had made one mistake in an important presentation at work. One small mistake. And afterwards, she couldn't stop repeating, "I'm so stupid. I always ruin everything. Everyone must think I'm useless."
Oh no. What did you say to her?
I said, "Sana, stop. If your best friend made this exact same mistake, would you call her stupid? Would you say she ruins everything?" Sana went quiet for a second and said, "No, of course not. I would tell her it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes."
And there it is. She had so much kindness ready for someone else, but none saved for herself.
Exactly. So here's the friend test, listeners. Next time you catch yourself being harsh with your own mistakes, pause and imagine your closest friend made that exact mistake. What would you tell them? Then say those same words to yourself.
That is such a simple trick, but genuinely powerful. Simple doesn't mean weak, by the way. Some of the most powerful tools in life are the simplest ones.
Here's a phrase worth remembering. Extend to yourself the kindness you already give away so freely. Extend, EXTEND, means to offer, to give, to reach out with something.
Extend to yourself the kindness you already give away so freely. Beautiful. Emma, can I ask, why do you think so many of us struggle with this? Why is loving ourselves harder than loving other people?
I think for many of us, we grew up learning to earn love. Good grades earned praise. Good behavior earned approval. And slowly, without even noticing, we started to believe, I deserve love only when I perform well. Deserve, DESERVE, to be worthy of something, to have earned it.
So love became conditional. Conditional, CONDITIONAL, meaning it depends on something. It's not automatic. It comes with rules attached.
And here's the sad part. Many of us apply those same harsh conditions to ourselves every single day. We think, I can only feel good about myself once I lose weight, once I get the promotion, once I fix everything wrong with my life. But that finish line keeps moving further away.
This actually happened to me with my career. For years, I told myself, once I reach this position, once I earn this amount of money, then I'll finally be proud of myself. I reached that position, and you know what happened?
What happened?
Nothing changed inside me. I felt exactly the same. Because the problem was never really about the position. The problem was that I hadn't learned to accept myself without earning it first.
Accept. ACCEPT. To receive something willingly, to allow it, to say yes to it as it is without demanding it change first.
And that's a strange lesson to learn, honestly, that you can start accepting yourself today, exactly as you are right now, without waiting for some future improved version of you to show up first.
Self-worth doesn't have to be a reward you unlock later. Self-worth, SELF-WORTH, your own sense of value, your own belief that you matter, simply because you exist.
So how do we actually unlearn something like this? A belief that's been sitting there for years, maybe since childhood.
Slowly, honestly, old beliefs don't disappear the moment you notice them. But noticing is the first real step. Once you see the pattern clearly, I only feel worthy when I perform, you can start gently questioning it every single time it shows up.
What does that questioning sound like in practice?
Something as simple as, is this actually true, or is this just an old habit talking? If a small mistake makes you feel worthless, pause and ask, Would this mistake actually change how much I love a close friend who made it? Almost always, the answer is no. So why would it change how much you deserve your own love?
It's strange how patient we are with practicing a new language, allowing ourselves months to improve slowly. But with self-worth, we expect ourselves to change overnight.
That's a wonderful comparison, actually. Nobody expects fluency after one episode of this podcast. You allow yourself the time, the mistakes, the repetition. Self-worth deserves exactly that same patience.
Now, Emma, I know some listeners are probably thinking, isn't this a bit selfish? Focusing so much on loving myself, taking care of myself? Shouldn't I be thinking about others more?
This is such an important question, Alex, and I'm glad you asked it. Selfish, selfish, means only caring about yourself, ignoring the needs of others completely. And no, loving yourself is not selfish. It's actually the opposite of what most people think.
Explain that.
Think about a cup of water. If your cup is empty, you have nothing to pour into anyone else's cup. But if your cup is full, you can pour into others endlessly without running dry. Loving yourself fills your cup, and a full cup has so much more to give the people you care about.
I love that image. There's actually a phrase that connects to this. Pour from an overflowing cup, not an empty one. Overflow. Overflow. When a container is so full, the extra spills out naturally, without any effort.
Think about the people who tend to become exhausted, angry, or resentful in relationships. Very often, it's not because they gave too much love to others. It's because they gave and gave and gave while never refilling their own cup.
Resentful. Resentful. Feeling bitter or angry because you feel you've been treated unfairly, often because you've given more than you received.
So, loving yourself isn't stealing love away from others. It's making sure you have enough love to share without breaking yourself in the process. Before we move on, there's another trap worth mentioning because it quietly attacks self-love from a different direction. It's comparing your own healing, your own progress, to someone else's.
What do you mean exactly?
I have a cousin, Hina, who started therapy around the same time I started really working on how I speak to myself. A few months in, she seemed completely transformed, calm, confident, glowing almost. And I remember thinking, why am I still struggling? Why hasn't it clicked for me yet the way it clicked for her?
Ah, so even inside self-love, you found something to compare.
Exactly. It's almost funny, isn't it? I was trying to be kinder to myself, and somehow I found a brand new way to feel like I was failing.
That's such a human thing to do, honestly. We even compare our healing.
And here's what I eventually understood. Everyone's timeline is different. Timeline. Timeline. The order and speed at which things happen in your life. Hina's timeline was never meant to match mine. Some people grew up with more support. Some people carry heavier things. Some people simply started earlier.
There's a lovely phrase for this. You're not behind. You're just on your own road. Not behind, not ahead. Simply on a different road entirely, with different weather, different turns.
I remind myself of that often now. My road isn't wrong just because it looks different from someone else's. It's still leading somewhere.
And for anyone listening who feels behind in learning English too, this applies perfectly here as well. Your classmate speaking more fluently than you doesn't mean your progress isn't real. You're on your own road, in your own English journey, too.
So the next time you catch yourself comparing your healing, your confidence, your progress to someone else's, gently remind yourself, different road, same direction.
And that brings us to a big, powerful word, boundaries. 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 The invisible lines that protect your time, your energy, and your peace.
A boundary sounds like, I can't take on extra work this weekend. I need to rest. Or, please don't speak to me that way. It hurts me. Or simply, I need some time alone tonight.
I struggled badly with boundaries for a long time. Whenever someone asked me for a favor, I said yes automatically, even when I was exhausted, even when I had nothing left to give. I was terrified people would think I was unkind if I said no.
And how did that feel? Saying yes to everyone else all the time.
Lonely, actually. Strange to say, but lonely. Because I was so busy pleasing everyone around me, I completely forgot to ask myself what I needed. I disappeared inside my own life.
There's a phrase worth remembering here too. A boundary is not a wall, it's a gate you choose to open or close. A wall shuts everyone out completely. A gate, GATE, lets you decide, moment by moment, what comes in and what stays out.
A boundary is not a wall. It's a gate you choose to open or close. That's a healthier way to see it. Not cold, just protective.
Protecting your peace isn't cruelty. It's simply proof that you finally believe your own peace matters too. Now I want to share something more personal. For years, I searched for something called validation everywhere except inside myself. Validation. VALIDATION. Outside approval, confirmation from other people that you are good enough, doing well, worthy.
What did that look like for you?
I would post something online and refresh the page constantly, waiting for likes and comments. If people responded warmly, I felt wonderful, briefly. If nobody responded, I felt small, forgettable, almost invisible. My entire mood depended on strangers I had never even met.
That sounds exhausting, honestly. Constantly handing your happiness over to other people to decide.
It was. And one evening, after feeling terrible over something completely unimportant online, I asked myself, why am I giving total strangers the power to decide how I feel about myself? Why isn't my own opinion of myself enough?
And what changed after that?
Slowly, I started practicing something small. Each night, before sleeping, I would ask myself, what is one thing I did today that I'm proud of? Not for anyone else to see, just quietly, for me. Even something tiny. I finished a difficult task, I was patient with someone, I got out of bed on a hard day.
That's beautiful, Emma. You basically built your own quiet audience. Just you, celebrating you.
Exactly. Outside approval will always come and go, unreliable and unpredictable. But your own approval? That one you can keep with you always.
There's one more piece of this we can't skip, and it's a heavier one. Forgiving yourself. Forgive, Forgive, to stop being angry at someone for something they did wrong, including yourself.
Many of us carry old mistakes around with us for years, sometimes for a whole lifetime. A relationship we handled badly, words we said in anger that we deeply regret, an opportunity we let slip through our fingers out of fear.
I still think about an old friendship I let fade away years ago, simply because I was too busy, too distracted, too careless to keep showing up. I never properly said sorry. That friendship just quietly disappeared.
And do you punish yourself for that, even now?
Sometimes, yes, even though I know I can't travel back and fix it.
Here's something important to understand, Alex, and all of you listening. The version of you who made that mistake had less experience, less wisdom, less understanding than the version of you sitting here today. You weren't careless because you're a bad person. You were simply young, or scared, or overwhelmed, or still learning.
Still learning. I like that framing.
Holding on to old guilt doesn't undo the mistake. It only punishes the present version of you for something the past version of you already lived through and hopefully learned from.
Forgiving myself doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter.
No, exactly. It means finally putting the weight down so you can walk forward without carrying it everywhere with you.
Okay, let's take a breath together. That was tender, but important. Now, practical time. What can we actually do, starting today, to build this kind of self-love?
First, notice your self-talk. Self-talk, the words you silently say to yourself throughout the day. Just start noticing. You don't even need to change anything yet. Just notice. Awareness always comes before change.
Second, celebrate tiny wins. You don't need a huge achievement to feel proud. Made your bed today? Celebrate it. Answered a difficult email you'd been avoiding? Celebrate it. Drank enough water? Celebrate it. Tiny wins, added together, build genuine confidence over time.
Third, take care of your body gently, not punishingly. Move because it feels good, not because you're punishing yourself for eating something. Rest because you're tired, not because you failed to earn productivity.
And fourth, surround yourself with people who remind you of your own goodness, not people who constantly remind you of your flaws. Flaws, Flaws, small imperfections, weaknesses. Everyone has them. You don't need someone pointing at yours all day.
And fifth, keep a small record of kind moments. It doesn't need to be fancy. A note in your phone, a page in a notebook. Whenever someone thanks you, whenever you handle something well, whenever you're proud of yourself, even slightly, write it down. One short line.
Does that actually help, writing it down?
It really does. Because our memory is unfair sometimes. It holds on to criticism tightly, but lets kindness slip away quickly. On a hard day, months later, you can open that page and remember, oh, I really am someone capable of good things. The evidence is right there, in your own handwriting.
I actually started doing this after a difficult month at work, and reading it back genuinely surprised me. I had completely forgotten half of those moments.
These aren't dramatic changes. Nobody needs to quit their job or move across the world for this. Just small, gentle, daily choices, repeated again and again, until one day, without even noticing exactly when, the harsh voice inside gets a little. Next, deserve. To be worthy of something, to have earned it. You deserve kindness, especially from yourself.
Next, boundaries. The limits you set to protect your time and energy. Setting boundaries at work helped me feel less exhausted.
Next, validation. Outside approval or confirmation from others. I stopped needing constant validation once I trusted my own judgment.
Next, resentful. Feeling bitter because you gave more than you received. She felt resentful after helping everyone but herself all week.
Next, forgive. To stop being angry about a past mistake. It took years, but I finally learned to forgive myself.
And last, self-worth. Your own sense of value simply because you exist. True self-worth doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion.
Did you catch all 8? If not, no worries at all. Go back, listen again. Repetition is genuinely your best friend when learning a language.
Before we close, I want to say one more thing clearly. Loving yourself doesn't mean thinking you're better than everyone else. It doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes or refusing to grow.
It simply means treating yourself the way you'd treat someone precious to you. Speaking to yourself gently, forgiving yourself honestly, resting without guilt, celebrating your small wins without embarrassment.
It also doesn't happen overnight. Some days your inner critic will still be loud. Some days you'll forget everything we talked about today. And that's completely normal too.
This is a practice, not a switch you flip once. Some days will feel easier, some days will feel harder. Progress here isn't a straight line, and it never needs to be.
But here's what we truly believe. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every single other relationship in your life. How you love others, how you accept love, how you handle failure, how you celebrate success.
So today, however small, choose one gentle thing to say to yourself. Choose one kind action toward your own body, your own mind, your own heart. You are allowed to be your own best friend, starting right now.
Final wrap-up. Today we talked about the inner critic and how to soften it. The friend test, treating yourself like you'd treat someone you love. Where this habit often comes from, and why loving yourself isn't selfish. Setting boundaries, letting go of outside validation, and finally forgiving your own past mistakes.
Our community question for today: what is one kind thing you can say to yourself right now, today? Write it in the comments in English, just one sentence. We genuinely read every single one.
Your answer might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. And someone else's answer might be exactly what you need too.
And today's key vocabulary to remember: inner critic, harsh, deserve, boundaries, validation, resentful, forgive, self-worth. Use them today in your own sentences about your own life.
If today's episode meant something to you, please click like, share it with someone who might need a gentler voice in their head today.
You are not selfish for caring about yourself. You are simply learning to treat yourself the way you always deserved to be treated.
This was Learn How to Learn English with Alex
And Emma. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, keep learning, and please, please be kind to the person in the mirror. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves. Really take care. We'll see you in the next episode.